Hello and welcome to the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast. I am Gilly Rosari. That is my main man, Larry Loper, and we are coming to you live on this Tuesday, February the 11th, from northern Delaware. It's snowing outside, but we're inside, and we're going to get it all hot and sizzling with everything we're going to talk about. We got Super Bowl post-game review, and if you want, we could bring up the NFL honors, which happened a couple days before that, and the halftime show, if you want to get into that too. We got the NBA, Daytona 500. That's about all we're going to mention. And, of course, we'll finish with the WWE, as we know now, who main event Jey Uso has challenged, plus another qualifier for the Elimination Chamber.
Indeed.
So let's start with the Super Bowl. It's the big game. It's the big game. Let me tell you, I thought it was going to be great. And like Jared Verse says, or motions after every sack. That was the That was a Super Bowl to me. Very uncompetitive. I was shocked. Now, it did go over, so I got that right. And if the Eagles would have won, okay. But the Eagles blowing them out with Saquon being held in check, I didn't see that coming.
Gil,
I didn't see. I'm speaking for me. I didn't see that coming. I said if Saquon gets going, then there could be problems for Kansas City, big problems. He didn't even get going, and there were big problems. Like you and I say, for as much as the NFL changes, the one thing that stays the same is the line of scrimmage dictates every single play. And that was not more evident probably ever than in this Super Bowl because the whole world was watching. I got to give you credit, partner. You said Eagles, Eagles. That is how you spell it, right? Because a lot of people were not spelling it right after that game. I think a little too many. But anyway, so what is your overall? By the way, congratulations on your prediction. And what was your overall take?
I knew they were going to blow them out. I really did, because we talked about it. We said if it was a close game, the Chiefs going to win, because that's kind of been their recipe. And I said that Steve Spagnuolo was not going to let Saquon beat him.
Who's that?
Oh, the defensive guy, the Spagnuolo.
Steve Spagnuolo?
Yeah, that guy. I always get his name wrong.
Okay.
Spagnuolo. I always say Spagnolia because I just want to say it. America, you understand when black people always give people names that ain't their names. That's what we do. I call Gil Gilly. His name is Gil, okay? It's not Gilly, it's Gil. Okay?
I like when you call me Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly. I say Gilly, not from Philly.
Gilly,
that's what I always say. Gilly, not from Philly. Right?
Philly, Gilly, not from Philly.
Not from Philly.
As you were saying.
But I was saying, I knew he was going to defensively put a strategy to stop the run and put it in Jalen Hurts' hand, which you would want him to do. Unfortunately, Jalen Hurts is the most calm, poised quarterback you probably want to see. Okay. O-line did their job. Kellen Moore did an excellent play calling job. He has so many weapons. But honestly, we're going to talk about who the star of the show was, who should have got the MVP. Yeah, Jalen Hurts got the MVP, but if I was him, I would have said, yeah, thank you. I'm humbled that y'all thought I was an MVP, but honestly, hey, defense, this y'all war. This y'all war. Because the defense dictated that whole pace of that whole Super Bowl, man. They was, oh my, when a Super Bowl or the defense is fast, they're on the ball, they're storming, and they're just dictating this line of scrimmage. They was getting at them. 6 sacks. They had more sacks than they had first down possessions, bro. They make Patrick Mahomes. See, the greatness of Patrick Mahomes is this. Not saying he has ever had great offensive lines, but he had lines where they gave him just enough time in case it broke down, he could be magical. He can extend the play. But you still had to have just a little bit of time for the route to kind of develop, right? He was on his toes from the rip. From the rip, he was dancing the whole time. He never got comfortable. Never. Travis Kelce didn't catch a ball to the second half, man. Xavier Worthy, he had a great game in garbage time. I'm telling you, Gil, the last time I could think of a defense that dominant in a Super Bowl, Baltimore. Ray Lewis, Baltimore.
Wow, that far back?
That far. I mean, for me, I could think. I know it's defenses that came after that. I'm talking about just where I say the defense really like did their thing and dominated. You can say Tampa Bay with Warren Sapp and them. I know you probably go to Tampa Bay, Warren Sapp. But
that's another one. I would have also said
the Rams.
No, I would have also said the Seahawks against Denver because Peyton Manning.
They were dominant. But I thought that, with Seahawks, the offense was complementing the defense too. In that Baltimore game when they beat the Giants, the defense literally beat them. Mm-hmm. The offense was okay. The defense even scored. That's what I'm telling you. The defense even scored. Ray Lewis and them was destroying that team. So to me, that's what it reminded me of when Ray Lewis and them went in there. And this is the Kansas City Chiefs, bro. When I say, when you start talking about history, you start throwing this extra stuff out there. You don't play as loose because you got this thing called history you fighting, man. You know how a team is undefeated like the Patriots? Now, not only do you got the pressure of winning the Super Bowl, but you got the pressure of beating Marino on the record. Don Shula on record of being undefeated. That's extra pressure you don't need. So I honestly think they got caught up in that. And I got to ask you something, brother. I asked you something, right? Last time I checked, was this not a team sport?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a team sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of elements for these teams to win, correct?
Yes.
So why do we focus singularly on the quarterback? It takes a lot of elements outside the quarterback for you to be able to win. They always say, well, Mahomes lost. No, his team lost. His team lost to a team. A team on all levels of the game, they were better. As a team, they look like a team.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the rough thing about being great, bro. You got to take the glory. You got to take the when you don't win. When it wasn't that guy.
You get more of the praise when you win. You get the of the wrath when you lose. That's part of it. So to answer your question, it's a quarterback-driven league. That's where the star power is. And if Kansas City would have won, that would have been something that no other team has ever done, winning 3 Super Bowls in a row. Super Bowls. Yes, the Packers won 3 championships in a row, the last championship and the first 2 Super Bowls. But technically, Super Bowls in a row, no one's ever won 3. And now, Tom Brady is considered the GOAT because he's got that resume. And everyone's looking for the guy. Who's the next guy? Who's the one that can challenge him? Well, if Mahomes would have won this game, he would have done something Brady never did.
Yeah.
And he would have already been past halfway there. That would have been his 4th win of a Super Bowl, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 4th win, and he's only 29. So his resume, he's on a pace, long way to go, but he was on a pace to pass what Tom Brady has done. You remember, Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 years, and then he had to go 10 years before he won his next one.
He did.
He won a whole decade. He made appearances, but he didn't win. Lost twice to the Giants.
That's a fact.
Okay, so that was part of it. That's when people were like, "Oh, see, he's not as good as Tom Brady. You put the cart before the horse." That's all Patriot fans. That's all Tom Brady fans. That's Skip Bayless and his trolls, rooting hard for the Eagles. What? Mm-hmm. Skip Bayless a year ago said the Eagles are my least favorite team growing up because I'm a Cowboys fan, and that's the team I hated in the division. And since the summer, he's been an Eagles fan all year. Now, I give him credit. He did say the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl a long time ago, and they did win it. but he's rooting for the team because he's rooting against Pat Mahomes,
Right.
because he's feeling a certain way that this dude's getting praise and creeping up on his boy TB12. Whatever. Guess what? Pat Mahomes has got probably another 10 years of his prime left. He can still do it. He's probably not going to win the 3 in a row. Probably not going to do that. But to say that, their window has closed, he's still going to be here. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Money on the line.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million question. After taxes, you're going to get $1 million. Next 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
if you had to pick one quarterback, that's right, let's celebrate. If you had to pick one quarterback to win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years, who you taking? You can only take one.
Only take one?
One. Within
the next 2 years?
Within the next 2 years.
Core roster? No roster changes?
And think of it like a draft.
Okay. Oh, I'm going Pat Mahomes.
Me too.
I'm going Pat Mahomes.
Me too. 29. He's been the best quarterback.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes.
Since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
He's been a starter 7 out of his 8 years. Been to 5 Super Bowls, 7 AFC championships, and now all of a sudden we're going to pick somebody else above him because he lost. He had a bad game. The whole team, for the most part, had a bad game. Give the defense credit because they clearly went into it saying, we're going to stop Saquon, and they did. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. They said, we're going to have Jalen Hurts beat us. Well, guess what? He did. He did. And you're right. The whole defense of the Eagles, if you can't give it to everybody, give it to Vic Fangio because they got pressure with just 4 guys the entire game. The entire game. They didn't blitz. The first blitz was at the end of the 3rd quarter. That was their first blitz.
Yeah, that's crazy. But,
I mean, we did say the one thing that bothered me for Kansas City was they were shaky at O-line, and the Eagles have a very good defensive line. That, to me, was the on-paper mismatch, but it hadn't cost them anything in the playoffs prior to that point. But it was over from Jump Street. You know when I knew it was over? I knew it was over when Kansas City had the ball coming out of the half, and 3 and out.
Yeah, I knew it was over. And
it's over. Andy Reid again losing at halftime big makes no adjustments. No adjustments. They look like the same team. Why were they not running the ball?
Well, the run.
You got to do something. 3 carries the entire first half.
Yeah. And then I said I knew it was over because I said if they get it down to 10, which is manageable, that's manageable. When they went on 24, it's over. It's over. Now you're playing against the clock. And then for you to come out 3 and out, you're definitely playing against the clock now. And once again, you did a great job bottling up Saquon. But the rest of the team beat you. Jalen Hurts was in rhythm. Now I ask you this, because I heard Ryan Clark giving his resume.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that Jalen Hurts, the way he's playing, the way he has been taking control over that team, right? Do you think his trajectory is leading him towards a Hall of Fame career? If he can stay healthy and they can keep this sustain this, because he's been in 2 Super Bowls in 4 years in the league, 4 or 5 years in the league. 5.
He came out in the 2020 draft.
5 years. Okay.
5 years.
5 years. Because he's been through how many different
starter for 4 of them?
Yeah. How many offense coordinators he been through?
It's funny that you say that. I thought I heard this and I didn't fact check it, but I think it's right just playing it in my head. In the last 10 years, guess how many offensive coordinators he's had?
Every last one was a different year. You talking about going back to college?
Yeah, last 10 years.
Goodness.
10 years.
In college, he had what? He had 3 years. or 2 years in Alabama, right? Only 1 year in Alabama, was it?
He was
He
2 years. 2 years
2
in
years Alabama. Okay, so he got 2 there. He had 1 there because I don't think they switched. He went to Oklahoma, offensive coordinator, switched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went to the Eagles. First year, he had offensive coordinator under Doug Peterson. Next year, not the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I'm gonna say at least in 10 years, I'm gonna say at least what? 2, 4, at least 6 or 7.
Going into next season, the 2025 season, he will have his 10th offensive
10th.
coordinator. His
Oh
10th.
my goodness. So
Going
once again,
into, because Kellen Moore just took the Saints
yeah,
job.
took the Saints job.
Last year, he had different offensive coordinators that got fired, right? The year before, he had Steichen, right?
Mhm.
He got the head coaching job. The year before that, I don't even know who he had, and then he had Peterson before that,
Yeah.
and that staff. Yeah, they said going into next year will be his 10th offensive coordinator.
So that means he's adjustable, he's coachable. He to the guy's credit.
He reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson, how his career is going.
Hmm.
How his career, you look at Russell Wilson's first half of his career. You remember, he went to back-to-back Super Bowls, won
He
one,
did.
lost one.
He did.
Had a great defense. It
He
was
did.
more the defense than him, but he did his part.
Mhm.
He did his part, and he's not considered a running quarterback, but he will run to get out of trouble, and they will have a couple of set plays. But he never got touchdowns like Hurts, at the 1 yard line. It's money. It's
No,
money. Push tush is money.
that's
Oh my gosh, he's getting double figure touchdowns every year because of that push tush. So I think he is on a Hall of Fame path for sure. If Eli
yeah.
Manning is going to
Yeah.
make the Hall of Fame at some point, which he didn't this year, you got to think you got to think Russell. Excuse me, not Russell. Well,
Jalen.
Russell might, but you got to think Jalen.
Yeah.
I think he's on that kind of pace. I do.
Now,
You win Super Bowls. You go to Super Bowls.
now being that they're bringing a new OC, right? What is your predictions for the Eagles next year? Because it's very hard to sustain that success when you go to a Super Bowl. There's always that Super Bowl letdown.
Also free agency. Who's coming back?
Right.
Who's coming back? Josh Sweat is a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Bears picking him up. Who's going to come back? You want to do what you can
to keep that
offensive line, that defensive line, because that's where everything starts.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. Becton, the right guard, the big guy, he's a free agent. Now he's going to demand a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's played tackle in the past. Now he's a guard. Problem with him is he always gets injured. He didn't get injured this year. He looked great. Got himself a lot. He's going to get himself a lot of money out there. I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to bring him back, but they got a great GM, Howie Roseman.
They do.
Well, he brings in the right free agents. He might be the best GM right now. So you got to, it's hard to say because you got to replace talent with talent, and they're going to lose a few people with free agency. You didn't, when the Cowboys were winning those Super Bowls, they didn't have to worry about free agency. Free agency didn't start until I think 94.
Mm-hmm.
And when did the Dallas, that was like the end of their run.
Yeah.
Right. They won in 95, but free agency started like the year before. Now it's common. I mean, look at how different the roster is from 2 years ago with the Eagles. Same quarterback, but they've had some turnover. They had Fletcher Cox, and they had, who was the other good defensive tackle that went to the 49ers right after the Super Bowl? You don't know who's going to be there.
Yes,
you just don't know. This is something that we got to re-ask ourselves after the draft. When free agency passes and guys come and go. and you pick up, young draft picks, which we don't know how they're going to translate into the next level. Everybody projects, and you're lucky if you get 50% right. But Howie Roseman's good at drafting. He's good at signing free agents. So, right now you've got to give them a very good chance to repeat. I mean, on paper, right now, who are you going to pick above them? Nobody to me. I think Detroit's going to be up there, which, by the way, Detroit is my pick to play the Eagles to kick off next season.
Oh yeah,
That's
that'd be prime time, right? That'd be prime time.
I feel like
but then,
everybody thought the Eagles were going to play Detroit in the playoffs, and it didn't happen.
Look, and it's crazy because the two teams you just mentioned are both losing their offensive coordinators. Obviously your team got Ben Johnson, so I'm gonna be curious at how that offense is going to look. I think Dan Campbell's a great motivator, great coach, so I'm pretty sure he'll find a decent OC. It's going to be harder.
Fine, because now they're a winning organization. Did I just say that out loud?
You said that out loud.
Detroit, a winning organization.
Out loud.
That's a fact. They're a winning organization. He is a very good head coach, not an X's and O's kind of guy, but you don't need to be. When you're like a general, when you're the leader, when you're the head of the table, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get coaches that want to coach for you. You're going to get players that want to play for you. So Detroit's going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They're still, to me, going into next year, the team to beat in the division. In my opinion.
Now, speaking of head coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned Kellen Moore, right? What is your predictions for the Saints? Do you think, first-year coach, do you think that he will coming in that division? That's a weak division. So in that division, where do you see the Saints fit in that year one underneath Kellen Moore in the division?
Well, so they're a little bit of an older roster. He's got some players to work with, but what I don't like, and I told you this earlier today, I don't like the fact that he's the last head coach to get hired. And now I know you said that he might have had a couple of guys put on ice saying, listen, I'm probably going to take the job, but technically I can't take it until we're eliminated. And, they won the Super Bowl, so they were never eliminated. But I just feel like all the other teams, you got to remember, this isn't just the teams that got new head coaches. These are also the other 30 teams in the league.
Right.
They could have swapped out coaches, let somebody go and bring somebody else in. So he literally gets the last pick of the litter. He gets what's left. You know what I'm saying? Now, hopefully he did have a one or two guys in his back pocket that he really needed, because you saw how Ben Johnson had Dennis Allen in his back pocket. So maybe Kellen Moore did. My fear is that his first year is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Now going into year two, where he has an actual real off season and he knows what it's like to be a head coach and what he needs. So sometimes, to take a step forward, you got to take a step back. So he's got to look at the roster and see, okay, doesn't fit, too expensive, not my kind of guy, blah, blah. He's going to have to cut some of the fat before he can replenish. And I think that's probably what this first year is going to be. So I'm
got them finishing
from the Saints.
So you got them finishing last in the division underneath Carolina?
Ooh, worse than Carolina?
Yeah.
They'll be competing for third or fourth.
Okay.
So
you got
Tampa coming above them.
Right. You got Tampa probably coming out as one.
I have to right now.
Right.
Right now. They have the best quarterback in the division. They might have the best defense in the division.
Yeah. Yeah, because Atlanta don't have no defense. Saints is suspect. Carolina's okay. Okay. They're okay. They say bad. They're okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so I would say Tampa, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, they got to figure out that quarterback situation. We're all
Well,
assuming
Penix
that's
got the
going to be
reins. Penix
Penix,
got the keys.
but Cousins is still on that roster.
Yeah,
You're not going to have $100 million backup.
no, I think they're going to try. Yeah, and then if they do trade him, then they got to eat that contract.
Who's trading for him?
Exactly.
For a guy that's going to be 37 when the season starts next year, coming off of
Vegas.
Now you're hearing his neck, his shoulder, his calf, the Achilles, which is like part of the calf. They're saying all that stuff was bothering him.
Vegas.
You're going to trade for that? I think he's going to get cut.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get cut. It's going to hurt Atlanta's salary cap, so they're not going to be able to sign free agents. So I'm not expecting great things for Atlanta.
You're talking about quarterbacks being cut, huh? Quarterbacks being cut. Okay. So that relationship, that marriage, that bad marriage, that break, or whatever you want to call it, the recycle bin for old quarterbacks, has ended in New York Jets.
Correct.
They have gave Aaron Rodgers his walking papers.
Pink slip.
They choose not to keep going down the A-Rod hole anymore.
What are
your thoughts on that?
I got to give Aaron Glenn a lot of credit. He's coming in there and he's saying, this is my team. And it's the GM's team, but it's my team. Mine. There ain't no player above me. I don't care. Whatever the Jets were, that ain't what it is. Okay? Because what they were underachieving losers. We got name-wise, we got good players on defense. We need more on offense. We don't need a 40-year-old quarterback still acting like he's in his prime when he's not. Sorry, not sorry. We'll put up with a lot when you're great, but even Green Bay got tired of your stuff. Okay, now you're not great anymore. You're easily injured now, and you run your mouth. And the two things, and you know when you give somebody an offer, but you lowball them so they say no, and you'd be like, oh, like Jerry did to McCarthy.
Yeah.
Oh, we want you back. We just want you back on a 2-year deal. No, thank you. If you wanted me, it'd be a 4 or 5 year deal with a pay raise. So you don't really want me. That's what the Jets did with Aaron Rodgers. They gave him a couple ultimatums. Hey, you're good. We like you, but just a couple things. So Pat McAfee, no more. And going on vacations when we have mandatories, no more. Oh, you don't want to agree with that? Well, I think it's best at this time that we part ways. You go in your direction, we go in ours. Thank you so much for your service.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay?
It was great.
They didn't look. Bottom line, they didn't want him, and they put up a couple stipulations, knowing that he would say no. He's not saying no to Pat McAfee.
No,
he's giving him $1 million a year, asking him softball questions and letting him talk for 40 minutes. Okay, about whatever he wants to talk about. You're not saying no to that. And you're not having the organization tell you, when you want to go on vacation, nah, you're going to practice with us.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
That guy.
No.
That guy.
You're not going to tell me
that guy.
I'm going to be going. Don't you know I'm a first-team ballot Hall of Famer quarterback?
Yeah. That's past his prime on a team that hasn't made the playoffs in over a decade.
And I got the last coach fired.
The last team. You want to know about the longest streak? Who's the team that's gone the longest without making the playoffs? It's the Jets, Jets.
Ew.
And they were supposed to go to the AFC Championship game. That's what the Vegas.
That was a prediction. They were supposed to come out.
Them in Kansas City.
Yep, they were supposed to be that team. It was hype. We got a whole year with them. he was going to change the franchise around. You know, they believed in him. And what did he do? He let him down. He let him down.
Let them down. But you know what? I really like this with the Jets. I don't know. You know, they're the Jets. I got to see them win before I predict them to win because I made that mistake going into this year and last year. My bad. But I do like how Aaron Glenn has come in here. Yeah. I do like it. I do like him saying not the same old Jet, not this way.
Not this way.
Maybe they still lose, but they're going to lose differently. It's not this way. And he was a good player in the
night. Definitely was. He definitely was.
Player. So
definitely was.
I think
I think they're in good hands.
I at least think the defense is going to be good.
Yeah, I think they're in good hands. You know, you need a guy come in, man, and say, no, this is my team.
Yeah.
I don't care about this overhyped quarterback because I can look this quarterback in the mirror and say that he is over the top. He's past his prime. Okay. We need to start going a direction for the franchise, not to feed his ego. We did that. It cost Robert Saleh his job. It cost him his job because he was so on Aaron Rodgers. He was a fan.
Yeah, can't do it. You
can't coach a fan,
you
brother.
Tiptoe.
You can't. If I'm a fan of you,
and be like, I don't want to upset
I'm
this
all
guy.
of you. If you got this Jordan-esque kind of thing with you, and I'm in awe, dog, you are at Washington Wizards, man. You're not Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan. You're an old man playing for the Wizards. Okay?
Gronkowski said on more than one occasion during film study, Belichick would point out and yell at Tom Brady if there was a mistake in front of everybody. He's like, and Gronk said, if Tom Brady could be yelled at and coached like that, then everybody knew, oh my gosh, if he'll do that to him, what would he do to me if I mess up? That's how you have to be. You got to set an example. Why would a special teamer care? You got to make them care. You got to be like, man, I'm fighting for a job here. If they're going to call out a first ballot Hall of Famer during film study, I better make sure I don't put anything on film that's going to make me look bad. I got to make sure that if we lose, I ain't got no part of it. Because when they say we win together, we lose together, I better be making plays out there. I better be making plays. And I think that's what Aaron Glenn's going to do. And he's right now, this may not last, but right now, he's kind of beloved. Whether the Jets were good or bad, he balled out. He was a good player. Not a Hall of Famer, but a good player.
Yes.
For quite a while. And so he's got that area right there, that organization, those fans, they got a warm spot for him right now. Now, if he poops the bed and he's not a good coach and he's bad in front of the mic and all that stuff, it'll all go down the toilet like everybody else. But right now, the whole fan base is supporting him over Aaron Rodgers.
Indeed.
Now, since we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, do you think this is it for him? Or do you think he's going to tell himself, I ain't going out like that. I'm not letting them force me out.
Well, his ego is going to say, no, I still got a little bit juice in the tank. The reality is, I don't know what team is going to jump out there and want to grab him. Now, I could be wrong. It could be a team. Let's say, okay, let's go Vegas. And then you got mentioned Tennessee. You know what I mean?
He has a house in Tennessee, so
right. So that'd be more realistic. I would say Cleveland, but I doubt very seriously he's gonna go to daggone Cleveland. Okay, so I guess I would say it would have to be Tennessee because he has a house down there. But for the most part, I would think it'd be his last days playing. He's injured. He's sustainable. The injuries now. He's not as mobile as he used to be. And then you're talking about going to a Tennessee situation with rosters worse than the Jets was. So I don't know, bro. Like, what are we playing for? Just the passion? I think the passion might pass him over. It ain't the money. You made enough money doing this. So to answer your question, man, I would recommend he don't go back. But hey, man, it's his ego. So he probably would because he's prideful, egotistical.
This is definitely a shot to the ego. When the season ended And he's like, I got to think about if I want to come back. And if I do come back, it's going to, be here with the Jets. And then them telling you,
you know what? While you was thinking about that, we was thinking too.
We were thinking too.
And we
while
didn't
you're
think
thinking
too
about
hard
your
on
decision,
this.
we kind of made ours.
We made ours. Because while you was thinking, I was thinking too. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to burden you with the thought of thinking. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of end this relationship on a good note.
Yeah.
You tried. I think you gave everything you could give us, but it just wasn't enough. But hey, you're going out as one of the greatest quarterbacks that did it, So no love lost on hate game.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings. And I wish you well. I wish you well in your next part of life, wherever you choose to do.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Just didn't work out. It's
okay.
You like tacos, right?
I love tacos.
I love tacos.
I love tacos.
And where in Texas do they make good tacos? I believe that's in that's right, El Paso.
El Paso.
And that's what we'll do here.
Well,
we're gonna El Paso on you coming back.
Now, Gil.
Don't forget about the honors. We gotta do that too. Don't forget about it. We'll go quick.
All right, so you mentioned honors.
Do you have any problem with the NFL honors? Do you have any problem with Josh Allen winning MVP?
No, I think it should have been co-MVP. I still think Lamar and him should have both got it, but it's cool. I think he definitely balled out this year, so I have no problems with him winning the MVP of the league. No, sir.
Okay,
I do have a problem with.
I thought it should have been co-MVP.
Yes.
If it had to be one, I was slightly leaning towards Josh.
Yeah.
And he didn't win it by much. So we were on the ball with that.
I do have an issue though.
What's that?
I'm getting tired of you picking these random freaking celebrities to host this daggone award show. It's about the athlete, man. It's about the athlete, man. It's not about you sitting here. George, go do it on the roast. If you want to do roast, right? I have a big issue with that part. I really do. So
I'm in agreement.
That's my issue.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of them getting celebrities and comedians, or celebrities thinking they're comedians, and to always be funny, you got to throw an insult. We got to be insulting. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here to
celebrate them.
If I'm nominated,
yes,
for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, I don't want you cracking jokes at me, like making fun of me. Like I don't want that. If I want to go to a roast, if I want to go to a comedy show, I understand that setting. This is an award show. Why am I listening to Nikki Glazer, who doesn't watch football
at all?
Why am I listening to her cracking jokes, acting like football players are dumb? Why am I listening to Snoop Dogg cracking jokes, stuff like that? Saying something to Belichick about his young girlfriend. You're just jealous. And
if you wrote the monologue, if you ain't write the monologue, then who wrote the monologue?
Right.
At the end of the day, I would have proofread it, be like, I don't know about that, bro.
If it was me, a lot of these guys are like, I don't want to be a distraction and blah, blah. I would have been, like post-award show,
yes,
I would have been running my mouth a little.
Yes, sir. And like you had mentioned, right? Billy Crystal, when he used to host Oscars, right?
Right.
That was how you supposed to do it, brother, because it was highlighting the actor. It was highlighting the person, focusing them in a good way.
Yes.
Not to say, and he's a comedian by trade. You know what I mean? But still, I thought he did a great job when it came to hosting the Oscars, because once again, we're here to celebrate your success. We're here to highlight you in a very good way. Same with sports, man. We're not here to sit here and crack jokes, especially we just came off a hard loss in the AFC finals. Right. I don't want to hear about you about the refs, and I don't want to hear about that.
I don't want to hear about that.
That doesn't want to hear about that, bro.
Better.
Like you could tell the face. You can even look at the facial expression when the camera zoomed on. They like, I'm trying to be the bigger man here, but
doing the
it's
fake.
you to crack a joke on me.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm not feeling it. You got skinny Snoop Dogg with a football uniform on next to Jerry Roll with a football uniform on. Man, I ain't trying to see that. I ain't trying to hear that. Just give out the awards and let's go. Let the comedians be comedians. I don't need to be made fun of. No, I'm not feeling that. What'd you think of Patrick Surtain getting Defensive Player of the Year?
He deserved it.
Yeah, I agree.
He deserved
it.
Daggone right. Even his peers admitted that. Hey man, he was on the island. That dude. Yeah. He was on the island.
Took away a third of the field.
Clearly. And Saquon being an offensive player. Yeah.
Well, you knew when he got offensive player, he wasn't getting the MVP.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Yeah.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse deserved it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jane Daniels deserved it.
As we knew.
So
all the awards was deserved. There was no miss. Nobody missed it. No controversy. Like I said before, we could have been co-MVP, and I don't think nobody would argue that point. But I'm not mad at Josh Allen because he did earn it. He definitely did.
What do you think of the 4 guys that got the nod for the Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, for sure. Jared Allen,
Antonio Gates, Jared Allen. They did screw up the camera. They screwed up because they said Sterling Sharp and they put the camera on Eric Allen. So Sterling, you only saw him at the last second get on stage. You didn't actually get to see him make the walk. All right, he'll still have his moment. I was extremely happy for Sterling Sharp. Extremely happy. Because I thought he was never getting in. I thought this was a great player that's just probably needed to play a year or 2 more, and he's not going to get it, but he's getting it. So I love it. I like the picks. I'm not sure that Eric Allen is a Hall of Famer. I thought he was a very good player. Hall of Fame, maybe because he played a long time and he was really good for a long time. But for me, the Hall of Fame is the best of the best. You better have been great 80, 90% of your career to qualify.
I can understand perspective.
Jared Allen, he was great. Antonio Gates, I was surprised that he didn't get in last year.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be first ballot last year. He gets in second ballot. No one's going to care. No one's going to care that Sterling had to wait this long, because once you're in, you're in.
You're in.
You're in. We don't talk about how long you wait. We talk about you being in.
And then I know that Shannon Sharp is loving it, man, because he always gave credit to his brother being a better athlete.
He'll probably be the one to induct.
He'll definitely gonna be the one to induct. It gotta be. He's been lobbying for him. Yeah. He's been lobbying for him.
Yeah.
Like, for real, I know that dude is ecstatic, man.
He's right too. Sterling,
he's right.
When they were both in the league, Sterling was the better.
He was the better. He was the better. He was.
He was doing Jerry Rice stuff, but he was doing it in cold Green Bay. Where the ground was hard, the wind, the frigid air, and he was doing it.
But he had a gunslinger as a quarterback, though, didn't he?
Well, he was playing for Green Bay before they had Brett Favre. He played with Brett Favre, but he was playing with crappy quarterbacks before Brett Favre got there. Remember, his last game, I think, was 94. Sterling. And Brett Favre didn't get there till 92. Imagine if he would have had 5 more years with Brett Favre.
Oh my goodness! It'd been crazy. It'd been crazy.
Then he would have been first ballot Hall of Famer
easily.
And then he probably would have a Super Bowl too, because in the mid 90s is when they won.
That's a fact. With the Reggie White defense and yes sir. Now speaking of before we wrap up this NFL portion of our show. Let's quickly go through the 1 through 32 teams. Now we know the order, and I know you got the order here. So I would like to just real quick with the draft. Team needs. Now who they gonna get? Just team needs.
Number 1, Titans quarterback.
All day quarterback.
Number 2, Browns quarterback. Number 3 Giants, quarterback.
Quarterback.
Number 4 Pats. Ooh.
Uh,
Impactive player, probably.
yeah, I would say.
Someone on defense.
Yeah.
Either an edge rusher or someone in the secondary.
Or you might invest in your quarterback, go O-line.
You can go O-line, but okay, you can go O-line. But I think higher prospect will be somebody else at another position above O-line.
Okay.
I think O-line will be like tail.
Yeah, down the line.
I don't think anybody O-line makes top 5.
Okay, I'm with you.
Jags are number 5.
Oh my goodness.
Defense.
Defense. Corner.
I'll say defensive tackle.
Okay, I'll say
the dude from Michigan, Mason Graham. That'd be nice there. Raiders quarterback. Jets.
Quarterback.
Now they need a quarterback.
Right.
But they also need offensive line. But they need quarterback. Panthers.
O-line.
They invested O-line last year. I'm going to say D-line.
Yeah, I thought the defense wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but they you want to do O-line or you want to do D-line?
I say O-line.
O-line, D-line? Fair enough?
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
O-line, D-line? Okay. Saints.
Oh, my goodness. Saints? Defense. No, O-line. Nah, because with a healthy O-line, it wasn't that bad. They just got injured. So I would say defense. I'll say defense. I'll say defensive. You lost Lattimore. Let's just say you got Hulu.
Well, they also got Jordan.
I'm gonna say tackle.
I'm gonna say defensive end.
Yeah, I'm gonna say tackle.
I'm gonna say defensive end.
Yeah, defensive end.
Bears O-line. That's
O-line.
O-line. 11 49ers. Debo is allowed to.
Debo's
ask for a
I'm gonna
trade.
say receiver. I'll say receiver.
We'll say receiver. Cowboys. Running back, right?
Now we got the other guy there, so.
Running back.
Oh, running back.
Running back.
Running back.
Yeah, gotta be running back, right?
Yeah, running back.
Genty.
Running back. Yeah.
Dolphins.
Oh my goodness. Dolphins. Shoot. Tyree don't want to be there no more. But he's still there.
Yeah, but he's staying.
He's staying there. Man, I don't know, man. Honestly, I think would say defense. Defense. I'll say defense. I would say let's just go tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say corner, but
corner.
All right. Tackle, corner. All right, those are the two. Colts.
Man, you got that Richardson there. Their defense, because they can't stop the run.
You're not good at the run, so you want tackle.
Yeah, almost want to stop the run, tackle. Yeah.
D-tackle. Okay. If not D-tackle, somebody on the offensive line.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Falcons.
Defense. Defense.
Defensive
you need somebody who's going to bring pressure.
Yeah,
you got to bring somebody who's going to bring pressure. I say edge.
I also say edge.
Edge.
All right. Cardinals.
They got receiver. They got quarterback. O-line was all right.
O-line.
Their defense was terrible. Give me corner.
Corner?
Yeah, give me corner because they couldn't stop nobody on the back end.
Okay.
Give me corner.
Bengals.
O-line. Oh, defense. Because defense. Their defense. They started getting better towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
actually.
They weren't last anymore.
Yeah, defense. Yeah, they're gonna need help defense because Hendrickson needs way more help. So yes,
they need another pass rusher. They need better linebackers.
They do. So it's definitely gotta be defensive concern.
Yeah, whoever the highest rated person left on their big board that's on defense, that's who they should get. Seahawks. O-line.
O-line.
O-line. Buccaneers.
Shoot. The defense is decent.
The offensive line is pretty good
It
too.
really is. They got a nice running back. Give me corner.
Okay.
Because I can't think of any position. Call me corner.
Broncos. We're at 20.
Your defense good.
Help that quarterback out.
O-line. Or running back.
O-line
or running back.
Or running back.
Or running back. Yep.
Steelers.
Quarterback. Yeah, quarterback.
Chargers.
I like the O-line.
Receiver.
They need a receiver. They need a guaranteed receiver. Yeah, they need receiver.
Packers.
They got receivers. They got running back. Number one receiver. That's what Josh Jacobs said. Number one receiver.
They got a lot of receivers.
They do.
Got running back. I would put someone on defense. Someone on the back end.
Back end. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, on the back end. Honestly.
Vikings.
Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
They got receivers.
Well, here's the thing. Do they have a quarterback issue right now?
Well, JJ McCarthy come back.
But he might not be ready week 1.
Bring a quarterback in. Now they might keep Sam Darnold.
They might.
So I would just say right now, let's say the back end of defense.
All right. Texans.
Receiver.
Really?
Yeah, I think they need another receiver because Tank Dell's done.
Well, they got Diggs.
They got
Diggs. He got injured, but
he got Miko. Diggs might not play. He got injured too. He might not be back this hard. Their O-line was decent. They had a decent O-line. Mixon, they got good running back. I would think another receiver. What you think? Their defense is good.
Tight end.
Okay, I give you tight end. That's a good one.
Rams. Let me tell you about the Rams. You look at how the Eagles steamrolled everybody in the playoffs.
I said the hardest game was going to be the Rams. I said the hardest game was going to be the Rams, bro.
The California team that plays with a roof, it was them.
I would say, it's a receiver, I guess.
Well, they're losing Cooper Kupp.
I know Cooper Kupp going to go, so their defense was good. So let's say the back end of their defense. Let's say back end. I'm going to say back end.
You might have been right when you said wide receiver.
Yeah.
Ravens. They don't need a lot.
They got receiver. I would honestly say receiver.
Receiver? Okay.
Yeah, receiver or corner.
I like corner. Lions. They don't need a lot.
They don't need a lot at all. Defense, though. It'll be defense.
Defensive line?
It'll be defense, yup.
Okay.
Defensive line.
Commanders. Defense.
Got some pieces. Yeah, defense. It'll be definitely defense. Definitely defense. They can't stop the run. So
they can use a corner. They can use a tackle. Yes, they can use someone up front. Okay, 3 left. Bills.
Receiver. Bills. Defense. Got running back. Receiver.
I kind of agree. I think they need a guy that takes the top off.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm saying this. Chiefs. I'm just not used to Chiefs not being 32. They're 31.
I would say O-line. Yes, O-line.
And the best team in the league this year, the Eagles.
They don't need much at all. A middle linebacker? I don't know.
Well, their middle linebacker made all pro this year.
I know Bond, but is they going to be able to keep him? Is he on a contract?
No,
exactly. Middle linebacker.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Listen, we don't have too much time.
I know.
And NBA All-Star, and you interested at all
No.
watching
One thing
that?
I want to talk about is the fact that I think the Lakers then might not look so bad with the Luka and well, then again they play Utah, so I can't really go off of that. But I'm liking the chemistry, and I think that LeBron is comfortable playing off ball, and I think that Luka can have the ball in his hands, and I just think that the chemistry will be there, and I think actually they ain't that bad. Unfortunately, Dallas got a hobble. Look, the disease of Anthony Davis is spread to all the big men.
Right.
Now all the big men are hurt right now in Dallas. So hopefully when they get back, they'll be ready to rock and roll.
Problem with the Lakers is they're small.
They are.
They're not going to have enough size to compete with the real good teams that have size. They're just going to get pounded. But going into next year, Luka with an off season, getting into a workout program with LeBron, that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Daytona 500 also this coming weekend. I get interested in that. WWE, I mean, we found out two things on Monday Night Raw. Main event Jey Uso is picking Gunther for WrestleMania after he got jumped, and Logan Paul beats Rey Mysterio to qualify for Elimination Chamber. Any thoughts on those two?
Well, we already knew Gunther. I already seen that coming because the storyline's already been built. He hasn't beaten Gunther. Gunther's beating him. Don't challenge Cody for what? It's a better storyline to go with Gunther. And Jake Paul beating Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio right now is just we respect him, his career, what he done, but I don't think he's going to be. He's like John Cena wrestler at this point.
He's 50. He's older than John Cena.
Exactly.
He's 50.
Yeah, I think we just celebrating just his Hall of Fame career, and he's just going to be that guy to get you over. Nice match. He's wrestling for the love of it, but for the most part, Paul's the future. He's now. Rather,
well, he's now, and he's only part-time. He hasn't been doing this very long. Very impressive.
And I like Dom, Dirty Dom. I love Dirty Dom because he's definitely a heel. We hate Dirty Dom. They hate Dirty Dom. They hate Dirty Dom.
Which means Dirty he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Oh, he's doing a great job. Between him and Logan Paul, they're doing a great job being hated. Oh, they're doing a great job. You hate them. Both for the same reason. Smug. And Dirty Dom is just like, man, he just, Eddie Guerrero's son.
Oh, that was a storyline way back when, 20 plus years ago. Awesome. All right. Well, that is our show. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Catch us next week, Tuesday, 9:30-ish. And we have changes coming to the channel. When they become definite, then that's when we'll bring them up. Right now, we just know that we're going to make changes. They're not there yet. So enjoy the All-Star game this weekend. Enjoy the Daytona 500. And we'll catch you next Tuesday right here, right on this channel, Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. For Larry Loper, I'm Gilly Irizarry saying thank you for tuning in. Be good to your friends.
Yes.
Be safe out there. Be responsible. And we'll catch you next week. Next week. Deuces.
Good show, my man.
Heart, 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 heart. There they are.